So hello everyone, in this audio class we will discuss the 20 most important questions that can be asked in the interview preparation of KVS and NVS Geography postgraduate level teaching. So from the chapter Landforms and their Evolution, NCERT Fundamentals of Physical Geography, chapter 7 Landforms and their Evolution. So let's get started with the first question. How do you differentiate between a landform and a landscape? So a landform is a single small to medium sized parcel of the earth's surface, for example like a hill, whereas a landscape is a collection of related landforms. For example, a single sand dune is a landform, but a vast field of various dunes in the third desert constitutes as an Aeolian landscape. Question number 2. What do you mean by stages in the evolution of landforms? So, following W.M. Davis concept, landforms pass through youth, mature and old stages characterized by changes in erosion intensity and slope. For example, the Grand Canyon in youth stage has deep V-shaped profiles, while the lower Ganga plains show broad, flat floodplains. Question number 3. Explain the youthful stages of a river. What are its hallmarks? So, in the youthful stage, vertical erosion or down cutting dominates over the lateral erosion. Valleys are narrow and steep. For example, the upper reaches of the river Alkananda exhibit V-shaped valleys, rapids and waterfalls due to high kinetic energy. Question number 4. Why do we find potholes primarily in the upper reaches of a river? So, potholes are circular depressions formed by the corrosion or abrasion where the pebbles are railed around by eddies of the rocky beds. For example, river beds in the Chota Nagpur plateau often show these cylindrical holes during the dry season. Question number 5. How does the incised or entrenched meander differ from a normal meander? So, normal meanders form on flat plains by lateral erosion, but incised meanders are found in hard rocks where a river cuts deep vertically while maintaining its winding course. For example, the spectacular entrenched meanders of the Colorado River in the USA. So, question number 6. What is the significance of river terraces in geomorphology? So, river terraces are surfaces marking old valley floor levels. They can be paired or equal height or unpaired, indicating tectonic upliftment or climatic change. For example, the multiple terrace levels along the Indus River in Ladakh tell the history of geological upliftment. Question number 7. Define alluvial fans and where are they most likely to form? So, alluvial fan shaped deposits formed when streams leave mountains and enter plains, causing a sudden drop in velocity and load carrying capacity. For example, extensive alluvial fans are visible at the Himalayan foothills or Terai region where river exit these shivaliks. Question number 8. How is a delta different from an alluvial fan? So, while they both are depositional, an alluvial fan forms on land at mountain bases, whereas a delta forms at the river's mouth where it meets a sea or lake. For example, the Ganga Brahmaputra delta is the world's largest, characterized by distributaries. Question number 9. Explain the formation of karst topography. So karst topography occurs in limestone or dolomite regions through solution and precipitation processes involving carbonation. So for example, the Gupteshwar caves in Orissa or the karst features in Cherrapunji region of Meghalaya. Question number 10. Why do blind valleys occur in karst region? So a river flows on the surface but suddenly disappears underground through a sinkhole or swallow hole, leaving a dry valley ahead blind. For example, common in limestone tracts of Adriatic coast. So question number 11. Distinguish between stalactites and stalagmites. So stalactites hang as isles from the cave ceiling, while stalagmites grow upward from the floor due to dripping mineral water. For example, found prominently in the Bora caves near Visakhapatnam. Question number 12. What is a cirque and why is it called the armchair of a glacier? So a cirque is a deep, long and wide amphitheater like depressions carved by glacial erosion at the high altitude. For example, the Chandratal region in Himachal Pradesh sits within glacial cirque-like depressions. Question number 13. How do horns and serrated ridges form? So horn form where three or more cirques cut back until their walls meet at a high sharp peak. For example, the iconic Matterhorn in Alps or the Mount Nilkantha in Himalayas. Question number 14. What are the glacial till and moraines? So till is unassorted coarse and fine debris dropped by melting glaciers. Moraines are the landforms made of this till, like lateral, terminal or medial moraine. For example, the terminal moraines making the end of Gangotri glaciers. Question number 15. Why is wind considered more effective in arid regions than in humid ones? So, because of lack of vegetation and moisture, surface materials are loose, allowing wind to perform deflation and abrasion. For example, the Sahara Desert, where wind carves mushroom rocks or pedestal rocks. Question number 16. Explain the deflation hollows and oases. So, wind blows away a loose sand, creating a depression called a deflation hollow. If it cuts deep enough to reach the water table, an oasis forms. For example, the Qatar depression in Egypt. Question number 17. Differentiate between Barchans and safe dunes. So Barchans are crescent shaped dunes with horns pointing downwind. Safe are long, narrow, longitudinal ridges. For example, Barchans are common in sand dunes of Jaisalmer and Rajasthan. Question number 18. How do wave cut platforms evolve along a coastline? So waves attack the base of a cliff, which is called notching, eventually causing the cliff to retreat, leaving a flat rock floor at the base. For example, visible along the rocky coast of Konkan, Maharashtra. Question number 19. What are spits and bars in coastal landforms? So a spit is a ridge of sand attached to the land at one end. A bar is a spit that grows across a bay, often creating a lagoon. For example, the Chilika Lake in Odisha is a lagoon separated by a long sea bars. What is the Peneplain concept mentioned in NCERT. So peneplain, it is an almost featureless plain end product of erosion with occasional resistant hills called monadnocks. For example, the parts of peninsular plateau of India represent ancient highly eroded peneplain surfaces. So this is for today. Thanks for listening. Keep listening for further audio classes. Thank you.